And it's an amazing ascension for the 37-year-old Brandon Staley. I'm looking at his history. You mentioned the connection to Fangio. He was with Fangio 2019 in Denver as the outside linebackers coach. 2 years before that in Chicago with Fangio when Vic was the defensive coordinator and Staley was the outside linebackers coach. Prior to that, he was the defensive coordinator at John Carroll University. Nothing against John Carroll University, but from John Carroll University, the Chicago Bears, is one hell of a bump. And it's amazing. You see this in the backgrounds of a lot of coaches, that progression where all of a sudden it's like, how the hell did that happen? And talk about what a difference one break can make for a guy. And there's so many coaches out there that are just kind of churning in anonymity, I sound like sins, anonymity at these lower level colleges, and all of a sudden it pops. They get a break. They're in the right place at the right time, whatever the case may be, and it's this meteoric rise. It's really stunning to see when you look at the list of jobs where all of a sudden something doesn't make sense here, and now this guy's on track to be an NFL head coach.
The amazing thing is, and I know Staley a little bit. I don't know him well, Mike, but the amazing thing is that, 3 weeks ago, the Los Angeles Rams went to Tampa. And this was a big deal for Staley because he's a big football fan. He loves football. One of the reasons why McVay loves Staley is because he loves football. And I think one of the things that Staley had so much respect for when he looked at the schedule this year, basically 3 weeks apart, he was going to be able to play Tom Brady 1 week and Bill Belichick the next week. And, the next, 3 weeks later. And, they went to Tampa, and although the score was close, he really frustrated Tom Brady that night for much of that game. And then obviously last night, holding the New England Patriots to 3 points, I thought it was just really an embarrassing game for Cam Newton. And I don't know where this leaves the Patriots in their quarterback situation. Those two games right there, one against Bruce Arians / Tom Brady, one against Bill Belichick / Josh McDaniels, essentially is going to make him, if not bound for a job, at least a candidate for a job come January 4th.
Yeah, and look, we've seen it time and again. You never know what a coordinator is going to do when he finally gets a chance to become a head coach. It's a different skill set. Sometimes guys grow into the job, sometimes they don't. But given the manner in which Staley has adapted quickly and successfully to the NFL, someone is going to seriously consider him to be a head coach coming up here in the not-too-distant future. We are firmly, though, in the window where the candidates outnumber the jobs, and the people who have the buzz attached to them are more plentiful than the opportunities will be. And we're awaiting in just about 3 weeks and 2 days the commencement of the annual game of musical chairs to see who lands where and who gets what job. And the Rams on track for a division championship now, Peter, at 9-4. He won't be available. Let's stay in the same division. Staley and Robert Saleh. Saleh, by all appearances, is going to be available to be hired right out of the gates, unlike last year when he wasn't available until after the Super Bowl. And I know that you've complained about this and advocated for change. I have. Others have. Something's wrong with this picture. These jobs are too scarce. The window opens too infrequently for candidates to be slowed down by the rule that says thou shalt not hire someone until their team season is over.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a mistake. And it's not only unfair to the candidates. I really think it's unfair to the teams because, Mike, I can tell you this right now. I can't tell you who the candidate was, but 2 years ago, there was a candidate who a team wanted to hire. And afterwards, one of the factors when this person was not hired by this team, one of the factors was that the person running the search for the hiring team just said, we really thought that it was close and we might have liked the other guy better, but it was very close. And we just decided we would rather get potentially a 3 or 4 week head start, depending on how long the other team was in the playoffs. And so that is the thing. And look, ironically, somebody else could say, well, Peter, look, this actually helped the Indianapolis Colts, didn't it? Because by the time Josh McDaniels told them no in 2018, all the field was pillaged. It was gone. So they had to go to the number 5 or 6 guy on the original list that Chris Ballard, the GM of the Colts, had. That was Frank Reich. And I can just tell you this right now. They're living happily ever after in Indianapolis. And I think they're really happy the way that turned out. But it just, to me, it's not fair to the teams, and it's certainly not fair to the candidates that some people will not be candidates because their teams are still in the playoffs on January 4th.
But the Reich situation to me just proves how many qualified candidates there are to become NFL head coaches, and how many people can do the job at a high level if given the opportunity. There just aren't the opportunities. And the playoff berth, the playoff success, keeping certain coaches from being available. For Josh McDaniels, it's probably not going to be an issue for him this year either if he's considering making the jump, although the shine for him, not like it's been in past years, because the Patriots now 6-7, Peter, and by all appearances not headed for the postseason.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.